and watching. So we are so excited for anyone joining us today for the discussion on why women struggle to stay in their power. You know, are you currently struggling to maintain your power and confidence despite doing all the mindset work? I know I had at one time. Do you notice that your clients are, facing similar challenges? Well, there is a hidden reason, and it's behind all of that. So we're actually about to discover that together. So hi, I'm Karyn De Mol. I am a award-winning author, CPA accountant, and women's breakthrough specialist. And it is my absolute privilege to be introducing the amazing Maz Schirmer, who is the founder of the Institute of Women International and expert in psychology of women's success. So thanks for joining us, Maz. So excited.
Thanks, Karyn. I love chatting to you. The best times.
And I can see Jo is on. She can see us. Thanks so much, Jo.
Oh, good. I'll try to just keep my little thing, keep an eye out to see if I can see anyone chatting there. But Jo, okay, there we are. Yeah. All right, we know it's happening now. There we go.
So tell me, Maz, what is some common challenges that you notice women facing during their personal development journey? You know, you've been with so many people going through their journeys that inspired you to make the Creatrix method and the Institute of Women.
Yeah. Started as the Institute of Women International until I'm like, it really dawned on me, hang on a minute, we're uninstitutionalizing women. It doesn't really fit us. We're not really very institutional here. More unconventional than anything. Well, it really came from noticing that women in business in particular is where I noticed it. And I noticed that it didn't sort of matter that I would teach them or lead them with the best kind of business stuff. You know, we all learn the goal setting, the compartmentalize, the consistency and all of these things. And I thought, why aren't they doing the things? And at one point I realized, wow, they actually know what to do. It wasn't really, more skills training. And that's when I myself had a wake-up call. Not everyone has one of those. I had one of those. So that kind of got me going. I didn't come from business background, but that's what led me to really be big in personal development was, wow, it seems to be that is the biggest thing needed. And it really was. It is what led me to be able to run teams so successfully. But yeah, it's still, you had to be there and really prop up, or if I turned my back, it was like everything fell apart. So I was like, wow, what is this that you sort of have to be there and breathe the belief into them. And I realized, wow, it's not sticking, basically. So that led me down all the rabbit holes of what's the best of the best out there, that sort of thing, And
so successful in your business, but you're following through with you.
Yeah. And it's like, but I also wasn't doing everything I was meant to either.
Yeah.
I was the fraudster, imposter of getting results, believe it or not. And this is, I think, a lot of women, they'll hit a place, right? A glass ceiling. And it's not so much that they necessarily have their own glass ceiling. It's that someone says, oh, you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
And then they second guess and go, oh, am I? Oh. And because they want to be quite accountable for their, oh my gosh, I want to do it right. Like I'm leading women and stuff, so I want to do it right. And so then they'd pull back. So it was bad enough that they were doing it not necessarily the right way. So now it was like, well, now Yeah. So I found that it wasn't just me either, that that wasn't doing it right. And what is right?
I think what's right is what's right for us, and we try to follow everybody else. But that's not the right answers. It has to come from within us of what we do. And when we trust our intuition, that's when we'll actually be successful. But we've got to find that intuition and trust it, learn to trust it, which, until I found you, I never used to really trust my intuition as well too. So it is amazing what you can do when you do actually learn to lean in as opposed to listen to all the noise outside.
Absolutely. And yeah, so I think one of the biggest discoveries for me was that what we were teaching, I ended up questioning, because, we're talking over a decade of, this pattern just running to the point we could really even like crunch the numbers and know the percentages that would stay, and, as entrepreneurs from startups. And it wasn't something I was okay with. I thought that's not, I want to fix this, or at least find out why. I wasn't happy enough that, certain people would be successful and still fight that way, their way, or keep pushing. And why couldn't more people? And that's when I really discovered, wow, this is a female thing. And I was like, wow, that's interesting, because why would that even be?
Yeah.
And it was, going down the rabbit holes then of research, and finding that, oh, wow. I mean, I had to go down history lane and really, really into history, and find that, wow, everything that we know in business, unless it's a new concept, it's still basically the same. What do you call it? The foundations originated through perceptions of male brains, of how we work, how you achieve, how you go forward and rise in success and go forward. And then discovering the male brain and how it does work that way, it made sense. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They made it. It makes sense. But hang on a sec. Our brains don't work that way. And finding and real, even just hormones. I mean, what is cyclic to the moon? How can you be consistent? Yeah. So even just little things like, hang on a sec, the brain is wired directly to the uterus. It uses its energy is sometimes needed elsewhere.
So we need a process that is specific to us as women, which a lot of those, like as you know, I've learned NLP, timeline therapy.
That's right.
And they're all fabulous. But the problem is they don't always stick with us as women. And we always think it's our fault, when in fact it's actually because what we've been trained in is designed for men. And some women do quite well with it.
And by men, yeah, exactly. And some women do and don't have a problem. So, that's right. I would say the thing is with leading women as a leader is to realize sometimes not everyone's like you as well. That's not easy to hang on a sec.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. They should. And I used to be that. I was called the Nike lady at one point. So I'm like, just do it. Until I really did the research, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit, it's like, I had a lot of that masculine going on. At times I probably did do a little bit more of it, but yeah. So Karyn, you just touched on that. So your training, right, where you come from, I mean, it isn't just modalities, but it's actually training others in them.
Yeah.
So that
I've done like, I mean, obviously I came from like just an office background to accounting, which is kind of like there is a lot of females in there now, but the training in accounting is for men as well. Then I went from there to a bit of energy work, and then NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis trainer. And I found for me, as I said, I still believe they have a place, and I still work with some people for those things because that might be one thing that they need to work on.
Yeah.
If I see a woman who's in pain, who has, she's doesn't believe in herself, she can't trust herself to make decisions, she's over emotionalizing with her husband and cracking it at the kids and taking everything her husband says to heart, then I know that when I found what you guys teach, Creatrix, is that it transformed things so much faster. And I'm contacting clients 2 years afterwards, and they're still going, I don't have a problem. Whereas before, you'd have to keep on working with someone to, because something would keep coming up for them. So what I found about Creatrix was that I got a big aha moment and a big, shift in how I felt. So I knew that what it can do for other women, and I can see it transform them on the Zoom in 2 hours, like the change. It's just amazing.
The stickability. It's yes, it's the stickability. Like when I was designing it, I knew, like I had done the NLP training as well, and all all of that. And I was actually training people when it actually dawned on me that NLP rapport was the modeling of females actually connecting. And then a colleague actually said, you've changed. You sort of, I prefer you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I had to sort of undo a bit of that. But yeah, I noticed that, the NLP, it is all good stuff. I still love it too, because it's really good for that quick or in the moment, and then you don't end up with it.
Yeah.
But I had to make it so that it worked bloodline deep because of our design. And I think, we can't pretend this doesn't happen all month, and that sometimes we're internal, sometimes we're external. And you can actually run a business very successfully when you trust that, and you do the internal activities at that time, then you do the external activities at this time, and then you're trusting your gut and yourself, and you're not being questioned, doubted by others or judged, oh, you're good enough doing it right. Then that's that, you said before, trusting
you got and the answers have to come from within. Like, everyone talks about affirmations and all those sort of things, and I do love affirmations as well. But if you're looking in the mirror and going, you're amazing, you've got this, you're a strong woman, but you're inside going, that's BS, then you're not going to believe it, and you're not going to take the actions. Or I can say to someone else, you're amazing, but they're not going to believe it if they don't believe it themselves. And that's where the answers, have to come from within, which is something that you have taught me very much so with what we've trained in. So, and the knowing about the difference in men's and women's brains, and also the generational trauma. Like I remember a big aha moment for me on when I was working on the course with you, was that my background is Dutch, and in Holland they used to weigh people, and if they had lost weight, they were witches because they're on herbs
and living on the air and whatever.
And so it's unsafe to lose weight, and I've always struggled. So that generational has been passed down through my genes. And what else is out there that we don't even know why we're feeling something? Everyone says, you've got to understand, you've got to, relive it, go in and like find out why you're doing that and why you've got that trauma. We may not know where it came from.
You'll never know. And that exactly. That's the thing with business. It wasn't business. That's what I discovered. Hang on a sec. The whole reason, like I did lead with 90% personal development, but still, like, yes, it was the confidence, self-doubt. It was deep insecurities. Like, who would think that the fear of picking up a phone and talking to somebody in business, right? Or a rejection of a sale of a house, or that or somebody sells it through another agent, and you take it so personally for a week. Or I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about a woman that I met at a talk, and she was saying how, as a duo running a company, that a business, that he would say, why are you so emotional in your business? It's not emotional. What are you doing? And I found that too. I found that all of the reasons, it was nothing to do with business. They didn't need business. They needed, that to not over emotionalize. They needed healing before they needed empowerment. They needed heart resetting before they needed mindset, because they couldn't sustain the mindset because the heart was still broken from goodness knows what, or my mum and her mum and her mum and her mum, what they went through. And if we're an egg inside our mum when she's a fetus inside her mum, and that's all being fed, and we're being created by the actual stresses and cortisols in the blood to actually become from one cell to 100 trillion, that stress, that stuff, it's proven now. It just is science, and we'll never know where a lot of our stuff is. So trying to work us out is never going to, but we're not complicated. This is the other thing, is we're not complicated. We just simply need to access that wisdom that knows where we come from inside of us. Like, who would think that it's all just right there?
Yeah.
And so that, as you know, wisdom gaining is what Creatrix is. It's a wisdom act. It's a wisdom realization, transformation a woman gives herself. And that's why it sticks. It's like 1,000 self-help books. You read it and it says you're worthy. And it's like you're glad wrapped, and it's going, yes, and you're starving to know it. But who'd think you just had to come from the inside, push that glad wrap off, and it can't come back because you've raised your own emotional intelligence. That's the secret, isn't it?
And that wisdom is such simple sort of things that we get, the answers that we get. It's just a matter of believing it from inside and really recognizing. And when we do that, it transforms how we think, and everything just seems lighter. And you'll have a conversation with your husband or with friends who normally used to trigger you, or would have you, getting all emotional or taking what they said the wrong way, when in fact that wasn't what they were doing.
No.
But we took it the wrong way.
That's right, because our perception, our filters, we have, we all know, like, a lot of women in this group here are coaches and leaders and all of that, and they would have already learned, a lot of them, that we do have filters, our values and our thoughts and our beliefs and all of that, and history and now epigenetics, but we've got the female and the male, and it is different. And the connections of emotions in business, it doesn't know it's business.
Yeah,
I don't know it's business. That's not. Yeah, we sort of, we're fairly new in business, in a little tiny blip in a whole bloodline. It's brand new that we're in business. So it's not, we don't know the difference. Like the old emotions in here, pick up the phone to do a call or something. It's like, wow, the worst love, rejection, broken heart you ever had is ignited.
When someone says no.
Yeah. The rejection and loneliness. And when you study women, you study female history, you really understand the suffering. If you're born female, you will experience twice the amount of pain physically and twice the amount of emotional pain, and that is just billable.
And the suppression that we've had as women for all these years.
Exactly.
We don't have now, but generationally, it's in our genes.
Well, history has gaslit.
Yeah.
Women are gaslit as females, I will say. I won't say women, I'll say females have been gaslit to be less than. What is the worst possible thing you could say to a boy? Is threaten it, call him a girl.
Yeah.
Not everybody. A lot of people nowadays are raising their children much more aware and all of that.
Yeah.
But, to be a girl is the worst thing you can be. And if that's the blueprint out there, then we by default, it's not overreacting to go, oh, I feel less than, even though I'm in a modern day world where there's, oh, it's not real. It's real because it's vibrating in your bones from history that hasn't gone anywhere. We haven't healed it. And when we heal it, it affects business. It affects,
just come in, how you talk to people.
Mindset sticks.
Yeah.
And the affirmations are automated, aren't they?
Just interrupt. Someone's written, do you have to feel it in the comments? Cynthia's.
No.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel. No, because the thing is with Creatrix is it's not like emotions and limiting beliefs. Like, everyone looks for emotions and limiting beliefs as if that's the thing is an emotional raising, emotional intelligence, wisdom gaining technique. It's just a school of education. And how we access it, isn't it, is by language. And the language, so what happens is we just have to know, and we use language to access and open the portal or whatever to where we just get all the epiphanies from our own inner guru. And it's not just emotions. We can do a package. Like now we can do gaslit, make a woman narcissism proof. I mean, and that would take, I don't know how many beliefs. It would be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beliefs. There'd be history, there'd be current, there'd be emotions, goodness knows what comes with that package. And to just do it like that and then wake up.
Yeah.
But it is that heals that, but it doesn't just heal because it prevents. So when you raise emotional intelligence and you heal and clean it and it lets it go, it's not you break the cycle, but it prevents it because suddenly you've taken all the rust off the intuitive antenna as well. And the self-doubt is not, because the thing is you can heal a woman's self-esteem, but what if it's not self? What if it's others doing it, gaslight, subtle? Oh, he's lovely and he loves me, or she that loves me, that she doesn't do it on purpose. They really are good, but at the same time, they're just like, and so women will doubt that and not recognize it. So who would think that?
And you don't have to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. You don't have to actually find out who did it to you. All you're going to know is that I have this feeling, this knowing that it's happened, and it could be the reason why I'm doing things. So then you actually, once you heal from that and get that wisdom from inside, you don't have to know where it came from.
You don't even remember you can't. That's the only negative on Creatrix is you can't actually go back to say, because that's the measuring stick of how we know anything happens in this whole world is comparison before and after. But because we cut the before off the end of the stick, they're like, what did I know 10 minutes ago?
I never said that.
I had a woman say to me, I never said that. Absolutely would never have said that. I'm like, lucky I can show it to you.
So Maz, what advice would you give to coaches who want to empower women through self-development programs like Creatrix?
Look, I would say keep it simple and just know how to guide women to their own inner guru. Push the ego aside. If you love to teach or not, you can go and do all of that stuff. Yes, right. But every woman, you don't really know where she's been. And because the woman's story is not even in the damn process, it's that I think keep it so simple that you don't need techniques. There's one tool, all things. Just right. Every person needs a perspective shift no matter what is happening for them. It doesn't matter what it is. Perspective, even pain. Who would think that pain has an element of perception in it? And women, it is fairly new that women have twice the nerve endings. That's a new discovery because they've never looked and compared before, but that's what they've just found.
Yeah.
What? So
And
in
talking about things as well will actually make it worse. So like pain, I remember when I was having radiation, the nurses kept saying it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. And you buy into that BS. So
yeah.
we can actually, when you actually sort of like, get that again, go inside and go, okay, I'm not going to buy into this, and actually do the work for yourself, you can transform your body in pain as well, like change those pain.
Yes. And it's not as if we go out and that's what we target or anything,
No.
but it's a byproduct that it affects so much. It's like I call it the ripple effect of a woman totally transformed is that it automatically changes everything and the people and so much around them. I would say to coaches or even just women maybe who have older daughters or daughter-in-laws. I mean, Creatrix has to get out there, and it's not anything about me. It's not about a method. It is about the fact of what it can do on this planet, and we need more people who care enough. Because I dream one day, that every girl, she hits 18, she just has Creatrix, cleans up that crap from childhood, which will, and then if she has a traumatic birth or something, she just, speed dial, look for that transformologist we call our facilitator who's quite advanced in her training. And imagine that.
Yeah.
2 generations down, because it's not about women either. And that's the other thing I want to quickly throw in.
Yeah.
What will it change for men and relationships? It's actually a fact that we heal more relationships than separate, even though some do, because guess what? When your filters are off, you can see if it really was you or him.
Right person for you or not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But the way it opens you up to realize, wow, they're having perceptions too. And because you've got none of your historic stuff, you're coming into that fresh, you can see. And I would say learn to do it. And I would say all women eventually should know how to do it. Yes. Because who do women go to? Why is our natural design and our brain, why is it kept for an industry of professionals to just do and help us with our everyday stuff? It's normal for a woman, and I hate to say this, but it is too common that little girls grow up and have childhood abuse because they are born female. More so, I'm not saying boys don't, I'm saying more so, because I got granddaughters and grandsons and I want them all to be happy. And that's what I think. One day all women should know how to do it, and we'll take really good care of you and keep you cleaned out so you can do your best work. And if you want to make it a profitable business, I mean, it's in demand to have self-esteem and clear out the whole route, no matter what they do, no matter who your target market is, really, and also emotion and regulation, and clean up those stress responses.
One of those biggest things that, women entrepreneurs is they're told to fake it till they make it.
Yes, there's a way to do that. Exactly. They get that wrong and they go, oh, it means I have to be fake, or no. All you have to do is the fake it till you make it. What they really mean is the little girl walks in mummy's shoes. Be that which you want to be in confidence. Do the thing you're scared to do in confidence. Like the little boy, he plays with race cars and one day he's a race car driver when he grows up. That's what it was meant. But women often go, oh, I have to be authentic, I have to be all of me for everybody, and they have to see the whole lot. So women go, oh my God, imagine that.
Yeah. And they've just
the fear of women is condemnation and public humiliation.
Yeah.
And being vulnerable is weak. If you're sin and you're an entrepreneur, these big things hold women back. But and what about, so Karyn, did you have any stories that you want to share of your clients or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I recently had a client, she came to me because she was screaming at the kids. She was misunderstanding what her husband was saying to her. She just wanted to have a happy life and didn't want to pass on her traumas to her kids. And after, like, we did the self-esteem and we did emotion regulation, she's just like, wow, like, I can now have a laugh with my husband, whereas before I was always taking what he said as like having a go at me type thing. Like I couldn't actually accept what he was doing. Now I just know that we can laugh about it, and I can tell him it's, go away if I don't think it's, it's appropriate. And she's not getting so like upset with the kids when they do something. And it's just more that she's got that intelligence to know that it's not anything that she's doing wrong, and that she can relax. And if there's a little bit of spilt milk on the table, it's not the end of the world. That the child's not doing that just to piss you off.
It is just, this whole world of, it's so hard to, like, people, there's the right way to be a mum, and that it's like this bar of self-esteem. There's a bar of being a good mum, or how you do business and how it's done and how you have to be. But really, at the end of the day, there's
self-esteem is, a lot of people won't admit they've got low self-esteem, but it's actually, it's just the lack of self-belief, I think, is more what I would call this low self-esteem. It's not necessarily that they don't think well enough of themselves, but it's when they don't believe enough in themselves to actually do what they want to do. And that's how they procrastinate, and they sort of worry about what other people think about them. They're worried about being judged.
Huge. Women have this thing, like, the psychological causes of imposter syndrome. One of the biggest things, men don't have this. They don't go and see the world through a version of themselves and imagine themselves being seen like this, and then they be that.
Yeah.
Even authentic women, this thing has to go down, that of how you think they're seeing you. And it is, the old, all I would say, that we have to be before we can do, so that we can have, which is an entirely different, it's not just female formulated modality that was needed. It's the understanding our design and how we can achieve anything as well. And that is, we must be it first. But that's always reserved for having earned it. Yeah. And that's the male model.
Yeah.
So we buy into it.
Yeah.
Business and leading. I've lost the thing on Facebook. Have you still got it there to see if there's any final questions?
Mostly for women, men get weak. Cynthia says graveling. Joe's, I mentioned you need to feel the liberation of being yourself to be able to believe and live it. There's been a few comments here, so they sort of
oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I lost it. Oh, there it is. It's popped back up.
So thank you so much, everyone, for commenting and joining. We've loved having you here. Sorry we haven't been very good. We've been too busy talking. So, Maz, how can people get in contact with you? If people go, oh my God, the way I did when I first found out about it was like, I want this for myself. I want it for my clients, but more, I want it for myself. What do people need to do to get in contact with you?
Right. So the best way would be go and get my Unblocking Women ebook, which is just hers.media/success.
And we'll drop it in the comments as well.
That, because the book will give you the whole business plan structure. You can actually see it's possible, but on that page is where you can actually see reality and stories and get the information, maybe watch our online seminar, or just go straight through and book a call or something like that. But you do have to qualify, and you do have to do that and have a chat. So it works out. I mean, and price-wise, it does work out cheaper than a year of coaching or anything like that as well. It's not that expensive overall. So in case somebody's worried about that.
So I definitely recommend you have a chat, because I know when I did, it changed my life. So definitely, reach out. We will drop the link in there. There we go. Tanya's actually dropped it in there for us already. So click on that link and grab through that link, and then have a call with Maz's team.
And if you want Creatrix for yourself, and you want that personally, Karyn is dynamic because she not just understands Creatrix, but transformation, lasting results. But yeah, she certainly comes with a lot of knowledge.
Thank you so much, Maz.
And experience.
So Tanya will drop that link in there as well. If you want to contact me, you can actually book a call. And again, we'll just have a discussion to see what's going on for you, and then discover the best way to go forward. And I've also got like a freebie. You can actually, again, Tanya will drop that in the link as well too.
Yeah. And we can duck in there and answer any comments. And yeah.
In here. Cynthia said, love Karyn. Oh, thank you. Got it.
Women are leaders, they lead themselves and don't realize how much leading is so important. We lead women through to tap their own stuff. I think it really is a leadership program that we run here.
Yeah, definitely.
Helping women become leaders.
Definitely. Well, we are now 3 minutes over time, so we better head off. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And
thanks, Karyn, and everyone.
And thank you so much, Maz, for joining me. It was so much fun.
Pleasure. Yeah.
See
you.
Stop live stream. We should be now stopped. This live video has ended. We're done. So let me just stop that recording on Zoom as well.